What's up guys, and welcome to another Game of Thrones review. This time I'm going to be reviewing Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 3, Oathbreaker. What I'm going to do here is summarize the entire episode, give it a rating, and make some predictions on what I think will happen next week. So my summary is going to be a little quick, a little straight to the point. Going to go through all the storylines that we saw, kind of tell you what happened and get right to the point, kind of go quick. Not a ton happened this episode, so hopefully we can get through it painless. Here we go. So the first thing we have is Jon Snow. He's awake, he's up, and he's breathing really hard. Davos is in the room, he sees him get up. Melisandre comes in, everyone's like, what? He's alive, he's alive. And he goes out to all the wildlings and all the crows, and they think he's a god because he came back to life. Everyone's like, that's not natural, you should be dead, blah blah blah. And he just goes out there, shows himself, and takes back control of the Night's Watch. Then it switches over to another vision with Rickon Stark. This time he is in the past, like a little less in the past than last time. It's of his father again. It's Ned going to rescue his sister that's being guarded by two Targaryen soldiers. One is like the best swordsman that Ned ever fought. He always told Brandon. And so there's about 5 or 6 Starks and 2 Targaryens. All the Targaryens kill all the Starks down to just Ned and the best swordsman Ned ever fought. They fight it out, and the guy's winning with 2 swords, and then right when he's about to kill Ned, a Stark is still alive and stabs the Targaryen, falls, dies, and they go up. Ned starts walking up to the tower, and Bran is like, I need to go in there, and he goes, Father! And Ned turns around. So apparently Bran has the ability to possibly influence the past with his powers. Because if Ned really hurt him and he's still learning these powers, he could go in and influence things happening. That would be pretty crazy. Anyways, he wants to go up and see what's in the tower because he hears screaming in the tower. But right when he's following his dad up there, the Raven teleports him back to the real world, and he gets pissed and he's like, why won't you let me stay? I don't want to be like you, blah blah blah. And the Raven says, you won't be like me, you'll leave this place, and I could not. Next we have Daenerys. She goes into this huge Dothraki city where there's these huge horse statues fighting. She goes into the place where all the Khal widows are, and the highest widow says that since she went off and she didn't go directly there, she has to be judged, and if she is like found to be fine or whatever, the best thing that can happen to her is she stays there. The other option is probably her getting killed or something. Yep. So after that, it goes to Varys, and Varys is talking to some Sons of the Harpy lady that funded them or something like that, or kept secrets for them. He doesn't threaten her son, but he kind of points to the fact that she has a son, and she's like, you're gonna threaten my son? He goes, I'm not threatening your son. I just have a way to get out of the city. And you know what happens to people who betray the royalty and betray the Sons of the Harpy. This will happen to you. So he gives her a ticket on a boat to get out of there and a ton of silver. So she agrees, gives him the info, and he brings it to Tyrion and Grey Worm. And now they know that the Sons of the Harpies are being funded by the different cities that Daenerys already took over, and the Masters retook the cities. So they're debating whether they should send the the Unsullied in there to take him out, or stay in the city and protect it. So it's a hard one there to decide. The next thing that happens is you see the new Grand Maester. I don't know what his name is. He's just some weird guy. He's talking to a bunch of kids. He's talking to Varys' old birds. He's giving them candy and stuff. And then Cersei walks in with Jaime in the mountain. She tells the Grand Maester that anyone who's speaking against her needs to be killed. And all the little birds should say to her whenever someone's speaking against her. So she is going crazy. They go up to the High Council meeting where their uncle, the old Grand Maester Pycelle, that one guy, the ship guy, Master of Ships, with the mustache. I think he's Tyrell. And then Marjorie's grandma. So you got them talking. Cersei, Jaime, and the Mountain walk in. They both sit down. The High Council goes, "You can't." They say, "We can't make you leave, but you can't make us stay unless you're gonna have that beast kill us all." So they get up, they leave, and Cersei, Jaime, and the Mountain are just left sitting there. Next, we go on to Arya. Arya continues to train, continues to call herself no one, because the guy keeps saying, if the girl says her name, she can have her eyes back. I have no name, or whatever she says. And eventually she learns how to fight, learns how to do all this stuff blind, and becomes no one. She drinks into the pool, and if she is truly no one, she'll survive. She drinks it, and her eyes come back. So she is officially no one. Next thing we get to is Winterfell with Ramsay. He is making a deal with the Umbers or something like that. Family, like way north family. He's making a deal with him, and he wants the guy to bow, and he goes, "I will not bow, but I'll give you a gift." He goes, brings in two people, takes off their bags. It's Rickon Stark, and the Wildling lady. I forgot what her name was. She hasn't been in it in a while. It's those two, and he's like, "Rickon Stark." And he's like, "How can I know this is actually Rickon Stark?" Brings his direwolf's head, puts it on the table, so there goes another direwolf in the direwolf family. And Ramsay looks at him, he goes, "Welcome home, Lord Stark." Bum bum. So what is going to happen there? Next thing we have is Jon back in Castle Black. He has all the traders up there, Sir Alliston, Ollie, and two other guys. They all say their things, and Sir Alliston, he goes, "I fought my battles, and now I rest. You, Jon Snow, you'll be fighting forever." Jon Snow, you can tell, kind of looks at him, and he's like, "Oh, moin, that's true." Did I just say "oh, moin"? I did say "oh, moin." Oh, man, that's true. I mix like boy and man together. Then he looks at Ollie, and Ollie's just pissed. He's like, he stares at the rope for a while that he has to cut to hang him. Then he just like cuts it. They all hang, choke out for a while. Shows all their faces all blue, and their eyes are like popping out of their head. Not literally, but kind of are. Jon looks, kind of stares for a little bit, takes off his Lord Commander cloak thing, and folds it up. Doesn't fold it, just holds it, gives it to Ed, and Ed goes, "What do I do with this?" And Jon replies, "Wear it, burn it, I don't care." He walks off. No, he says, "Castle Black is yours." Then he walks off and says, "My watch is ended." Boom, boom. The end. So, I thought that was a pretty intense last two scenes, especially the Rickon and Jon Snow scene at the end. The rest of the episode is kind of all mixed together. I mean, Arya got her eyes back, and that's cool, and everything else is kind of, nothing really progressed. But we're seeing Cersei kind of take a stand. She's getting more engaged. She's getting more feisty. She's going to start some violence in King's Landing. She is going to take it to the High Sparrow, which I forgot. Tommen goes and confronts the High Sparrow and is pissed. He's like, give me my wife back. My mother does not need to do anything else. And then it looks like the High Sparrow is convincing him that what he's doing is right. So we got some High Sparrow kind of controlling Tommen now. So that's going to get interesting too. We might have Cersei fighting against, not literally against, but like fighting against Tommen's ideas. So that would get a little interesting if Tommen's actually on the side of the High Sparrow. So that could get interesting. Yeah, so we have Cersei in there. We have the whole Jon Snow thing. That's crazy. He's stepped down from the Lord Commander, and from what he said, he's done with the Watch. I don't know if this means that I assume this means that he's going to kind of lead the wildlings and take over Winterfell from Ramsay and save his brother. So I'm thinking that's going to happen. Then obviously it's cool that Arya got her eyes back and stuff. She's back, and then we're going to have Ramsay. I don't think Ramsay's going to kill Rickon. I think he's going to use him to rally all the Northmen together, and he's just going to kind of keep him as a pawn. He might beat him up. He might do some kinds of crazy crap to him, but he's not going to kill him. He's going to keep him as a pawn to use in the north. Alright, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I'm going to give it an 8.6 out of 10. And predictions, pretty much what I just said. I was kind of predicting and going at the same time. Next episode, we're going to see how the Jon Snow storyline progresses. Hopefully, I'm thinking the way I said previously, he's going to take control of the wildlings, kind of take it to Ramsay. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all for today. Make sure to like if you like, fave if you fave, subscribe to be updated on future Game of Thrones reviews, Supernatural reviews on Wednesdays, and all kinds of other videos throughout the week. See y'all later. Deuces.